Let me explain to you how to make people kind of want to get your card instead of you just handing them to them, right? Because the main mistake
This video is brought to you by EpiPies Academy.
first-time entrepreneurs make is they're a little bit too eager and they let people ask them about their business and they just go blah blah blah, my business is so great, blah 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 blah, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, here's my card, buy from me. When I started out, this was kind of me. And I see a lot of first-time entrepreneurs, younger entrepreneurs, they're kind of like this. Maybe not as bad as that example that I gave, because the example I gave is a little bit extreme, but see if that resembles your approach a little bit. Because really, I know, all I want to do is sell. All you want to do is sell. You're in business. But we have to have a little bit more nuance to our approach. Here's a better way. So the person you're talking to, let's say you're in a networking event, guess what? They're going to talk to 10 or 20 people just like you. And those people are going to be kind of close to what you do, right? Blah, 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 me, 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 me. And that person doesn't care because they're thinking me, 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 me. So let's change it up a little bit. Here's how you should have a conversation. First, ask people, remember the body language. First, you come to the conversation, right? Positive eye contact, warm smile, handshake, name introduction. The energy level is pretty good already, right? It should be. So, and then you start, you ask people, if it's a networking event, you ask them what they do, because it's such a common thing. Generally, asking people, what do you do, where are you from, is very boring, because everybody asks that, and the people you ask already are very bored of answering this question because they've been, like, thousands of times they've been answering that question the same way. So sometimes you want to ask in more unique ways. How do you spend most of your time? What is your favorite thing to do? If you're in a networking event, you're kind of stuck with what do you do, and that's fine. You can also say what brings you to this event. How did you enjoy the presentation? Blah blah blah. Maybe whatever the event is, try to change up the question, and they'll kind of tell you why they're there, what they're looking for, what brought them to the event, and it will get into what they do. Okay. And you want to listen attentively, and what you want to do is ask them good follow-up questions that have a purpose. And the purpose is you want to seem intelligent by asking unique questions, right? Not the same stuff that everybody asks, because most of the time you will ask people, what do you do? They will say XYZ, and what do you say? Oh, that's cool. Don't right, that's a bad way to have a conversation. Or, oh, awesome, you're a programmer, awesome, you're this job, awesome. Don't do that. What you want to do instead is ask good follow-on questions that raise positive emotions. Because when they start to have positive emotions, they start to associate subconsciously those emotions with you. So for example, you have to ask questions that almost always lead to an emotionally positive answer. And they're not fact-based. That are more like, if possible, will lead to emotional answers. For example, so you ask people, what do you do? The person says, I'm a software engineer. And you would ask them maybe, so what is the best part of your day? What makes you happiest at work? Okay? And if they're really passionate about their work, maybe they will actually open up and start saying, I really love it when, like, I do this thing and, like, finally, after months of, like, work, we launch and people use my product, and I'm able to put my product in front of thousands of millions of people, right? And then they light up, hopefully. Sometimes they might give an answer, oh, whatever, lunch. My favorite part of the day is lunch. But some people, they really will open up, right? And you can ask more questions, right? So tell me about what happens during lunch. Like, do your customers give you feedback? Have you had any, like, super successful customers? So you can ask follow-up questions, right? And what happens is you build a lot of rapport, a lot of positive emotions in a very short time. That, mind you, this will not happen with this person almost any time that evening. Most of the other people will ask them boring questions, do not really care about what they do, and say, "Oh, that's cool, whatever," But but you will have this amazing exchange, and this person will be like, "Wow, I'm talking to this cool guy or girl. I wonder what they do." And when they are done with their whole talking about what they do, they will be curious about what you do. And by the way, you might also offer to help them if you can. You might offer to connect them with somebody else who might be able to help them if they can. So there's extra things you can do. But eventually they'll ask you what you do, right? Now, this is a so much better place for you to promote whatever you're promoting than if you had started with it, okay? If you had started with it, you're like a regular guy. Like, they don't care about you, what you do, just like you don't really care what they do, right? But now you've built a really nice connection. You've kind of built these positive emotions, and you can, they actually care a little bit. They want to know about you because you've developed a relationship a little bit, okay? And this is where you can tell them about what you do using one of two pitches. You can either use like the very basic, like 30-second pitch, or if you feel like they might be a good potential customer, you can dive into a more salesy pitch, okay? And in the next lecture, I'll explain to you how to do the more salesy pitch, right? Because now they care. Now they're going to listen. Now they want to take your card. They want to engage. And this is where you got to start and close your sale if that's possible.